What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We're the NBA podcast of the people. Your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and with me, as always, it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hey. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
I don't have a stat, but did you guys hear that Luke Longley, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen are doing a no bull. I forget what it's called, like a no bullshit tour. Talk about their side of the Last Dance biography. So there's some tour dates in Australia right now because of Luke, but hopefully they bring it stateside because
we may have to go to that one.
Sounds
interesting.
Sounds petty.
Sounds very petty, which is great for podcast material. Yeah. He's not petty. He just bleeds red. It's the long box shirt. McCroskey, get that joke.
Titus, did you happen to look at the lyrics of the song that I shared?
I did look at some of the lyrics, and then I got halfway through the song and I got busy. But yes, and I agreed. When I listened to it, I was like, "Wow, that's some deep stuff from Joey's." He's in his feelings about the Bulls.
Yeah. So if any of our astute listeners decide to follow along, the Taylor Swift jam "Cruel Summer" happens to be the exact feelings that I share towards my Bulls at the beginning of every season and throughout the season.
Yes.
Hold on.
It's a cruel summer.
Yeah, it's a cruel season.
It's a cruel season for Joey. I will be completely honest. My cruel summer is the '80s song. I'm not gonna sing it because Adam's not here to clean it up for me. But I would recommend looking up that one too. It's a jam.
No faith, man.
It's a jam. But yeah, we'll have to do a breakdown of Joey's cruel summer with the Bulls, cruel winter with the Bulls.
Yeah, I can do it maybe as a part of my 10 up, 10 down at the end of the season for them. I can try
and work in cruel summer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's great. We got a good show for you guys tonight. We're gonna do a little All-Star recap. We've been on the All-Star break, and we didn't end up doing a trade deadline show because the trade deadline kind of sucked. And apparently so did the All-Star game. But I was feeling great. Then I'm going to hit the boys with some most likely twos and some high thoughts. The triumphant return of NBA high thoughts. And then Chris has got a team draft cooked up for us that we will get to at the end of the show. All right, boys. I guess we can kind of keep this brief, I guess. Overall thoughts on the All-Star weekend, All-Star game. Any highlights, any lowlights? Joey, we can start with you. What'd you think, man?
Yeah. Saturday night's supposed to be the fun night.
Yeah.
It I get excited every year for it. And I think after last year's dunk contest where we were all shocked and surprised by Mac McClung, he was good. He was good this year. He wasn't great. I think if this was him last year, it would have been really exciting. But because he was so awesome last year, I think I was expecting a similar performance. It just wasn't in the cards, I guess. When you're 6'2", there's only so many dunks you can do before you have to resort to jumping over Shaq, which is straight impressive, right? It was awesome.
Better than over Kai Cenat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think his first dunk was the best. The let go of the ball midair and regrip and behind the back dunk, whatever you call it. Pretty sweet. My favorite part though of the whole thing, the Steph versus Sabrina shootout was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool just to see how they were actually nervous and they actually cared about it, and it meant something to both of them.
Yeah.
When we get those first 7 in a row, I was
on the
edge of my seat. I was like, dude, she's gonna
she's on.
Yeah, she's gonna go out here and break the record again from the men's line. Pretty ridiculous considering 3-point shooting seems like it's a very muscle memory type thing, and for her to take the few steps back to the men's line and knock in 26. I mean, Steph beat her by one shot, right? One made basket technically.
Yeah, I think so.
It was more, but we made one more shot, and for her to match the totals of Dame, who won the whole thing, pretty awesome. I hope they do it again. I'm glad it was good. I'm glad neither one of them had an off night, because I feel like if it was if either one of them had an off night, it would have just kind of been all right, this was lame. We're not doing this again. But it was entertaining. It was compelling. It was a good storyline. But I enjoyed it. That was my favorite part. The 3-point contest has kind of become like the highlight, I feel like, of the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
Just based on, I mean, that's where the league is. So overall, like Saturday night, I give it like a B. Like, I mean, it was fine. It was solid. Skills competition was kind of fun. Seeing the Pacers, they kind of cared. Halliburton was good. Chris, your Anthony Edwards was about the most depressing thing you could possibly have seen in that competition, which was pretty rough. Him
Just
shooting
like, I'm gonna go watch it.
left-handed. Him shooting left-handed
Yeah.
on purpose to be fun was kind of disappointing. But yeah, I'll keep my comments to Saturday. Saturday, I'll give it a B. One of you guys can cover what you thought about the Sunday.
Chris, how did you feel about Sunday? Oh, you didn't watch the game?
I didn't watch the game.
That's
That's
right.
how I felt about it. I cared about it as much as the players did. I
Yeah.
thought it was funny that Andre Iguodala, Larry Bird, and I think Julius Erving gave speeches in the locker room talk about the importance of making this a competitive game. And the guys still went out there were just like, fuck this, 211 points.
Yeah,
A lot of talk around Adam Silver saying his speech over the, I don't know if you guys heard his speech, but he's like, to the team that, well, you scored the most points, so here you go.
Oh,
And it was just
man,
kind of
yeah.
like he's not happy with
Yeah.
it. The players were like, whatever.
Yeah.
And, so I don't, whatever. I don't care about the game. I think there needs a revamp. NFL did this a few years ago. That game's now unwatchable too. It's flag football, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, just do more fun skill stuff. Do 1-on-1 stuff. Do 3-on-3. Make it so the players have a reason to be more competitive about it instead of trying to make them be more competitive.
Facts.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe we can. This rolls right into my high thought here, my NBA high thought. Because so I will say, yeah. So I was a little, I was getting higher than Mac McClung to watch the events Saturday and Sunday. My wife was working, so I had nothing else to do besides hang out and watch basketball. So I was chilling. But I felt like the first part of the game was all right, was solid. I did realize towards the end, I was like, yeah, it's kind of getting a little loose here. But I thought it was pretty strong. And the thought I had was, is the key to saving the All-Star game or All-Star weekend in general just having young superstars? Because I felt like Halliburton was really taking it seriously and came out guns blazing in that first quarter. But then on the West, it was, it's Steph, it's LeBron. Luka really doesn't care, even though he's kind of younger. And they didn't have the energy to like say, all right, we're going to, battle back with this young fella. And then I think when that didn't happen, then the game started to kind of feel like it. All right. And the East kind of got that big lead. The West really didn't make an effort to get back into it. And then you said it had Dame launching half court shots. But I feel like if you had a core group, and I think it might actually be maybe in the next couple of years when you start to lose sort of these perennial all-star types, the LeBrons, the Stephs, some of these older guys that are really, because they're not gonna bust their ass in this game. They're there to hang out. But maybe when you get the next crop, the Shays, the Halliburtons, and these next young guys, could that be the key to saving the All-Star game or bringing it back to being competitive? Just having young superstars being the dominant players in the game. What do you guys think?
Anthony Edwards shot left-handed.
That's true.
The man is 23 years old.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm glad he had a good time, Titus. No, it's not going to happen.
Is that going to happen?
Were you? Yeah, no. Joey?
I hear what you're saying, and I get the concept. I feel like, to Chris's point, there's almost like the All-Star game kind of used to be like a pride thing, like East versus West, and like a lot of those teams from the All-Star games that like we cared about were like the teams stayed together more, right? And there was more bad blood between the teams built over a longer period of time. So you had a chance for
And now we got bad, but okay.
I'm full of it. You're right, Chris. But you had a chance for these guys to like team up, and then like go against guys that they had like some actual like vitriol towards. And like with the shuffling of teams so often that it happens, like there's that aspect of like the care is kind of gone. I also feel like too the All-Star game was a chance for guys that like weren't Kobe, right? And to have a chance to like make a name for themselves or like put their product out there. Like it's not a scene, right? And you know, there weren't games on every night. You couldn't watch some of these guys whenever you wanted to, and now you can. And the money they're making, like there's not the financial like impact of them performing well in this game.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. I feel like though, if you're going to go that drastic, it's almost like you've got to set some sort of like there's a financial impact to this, right? They get paid if they win, but they don't get paid enough. But I think the bigger thing is like a lot of these guys have like there's these tie-ins to their contracts for all-star selections and all NBA selections, and like removing some of that stuff and being like, if you don't want to do this, like you can be named an all-star, right? Like Jokic is an all-star, but like, hey man, if you don't want to do this, like don't do it. Like no one, like everybody who wants to see you play can see you play whenever they want to. So like, put somebody in there who's actually going to care. And like, it has to be a much more than just like, hey, we talked to you guys and thanks for telling us. Like let guys who actually want to go in there and play up to a certain reason, right? You can't put like, Dalen Terry in there to run around and just like be excited that he's popular. But like, I'm sure we could easily find 20 NBA players that are really good, like are on the cusp of all-star that would easily go in there and show you a good game. Because to me, like,
that's actually a really good fix.
It's philosophical, but like at the end of the day, like the point of the All-Star game isn't like you said, Tyson, it's not for me to go watch LeBron and like KD run around and like, play for 7 minutes. It's like, it's to bring in like the casual fan to say like, this is the product we have. And like, if you want to come watch our sport, like this is the best of the best. But if you don't watch basketball that often and you put that game on, you're like, oh, well, all I ever hear is that nobody ever plays defense in the NBA. Right? Like that's the narrative.
Yeah.
And then you watch that game and you're like, well, yeah, I guess you're right. Like nobody's playing defense. Like, so I feel like they're at a pretty significant crossroad. Like 2 years in a row, it's been bad. And they've got to find something. And I think it just comes down to like, don't force guys to do it. Like Jokic doesn't want to be there. It's so obvious, right? He could have cared less. He doesn't want to do it. Luka's like, I don't like all-star games. It's not how I play. I don't give a shit. So like, okay, cool. Hey, you were selected an all-star, but you don't have to go play. Who cares?
That could be something. All right. I had one last high thought. This one might be a little bit spicy, but we'll see. I kind of get what Kenny Smith was saying at the end of
what? All right, elaborate.
Hold on. Yeah, I thought it was, so in the moment again, I was a little cooked.
Guys, this is the moment.
This isn't even a high thought. This is like
I was like, one, he's doing a terrible job at this, and he's going to get roasted for this. But at the same time, I was like, I get where he's coming from, and I will say this, and then we can. If I'm getting too far out, you guys got to reel me in here. But so if you guys don't know, what Kenny kind of went off after saying Sabrina should have shot from the women's line and blah blah. But I think what he was trying to say, I think he did a very poor job of it. I will say.
Trying to say,
yeah, what he was trying to say. No, he was saying. All right, I think he was mad because I believe he picked Sabrina to win the contest. So then when she didn't win, I think he was kind of like mad, and he kind of does this. That's the other thing too. If you really watch like Kenny, he does this all the time. If if like a dunker is not doing good, he kind of complains or whatever, and he gets all a little butthurt about it. That's what I think he was doing. I think he was saying he was mad because she was so close. Like Joey said, she had lost by 3 points. It was like 29-26, one shot or two shots different, and she wins. And she was shooting from the men's line, which is super impressive. So he was like, you should have shot from the women's line because you really could have won if you would have done that. And he wasn't. I think then Miller is going, you're limiting her. And that's not the case. When she set the all-time record, it was from the women's line. And I think that is showing what is actually the equality going through, which is saying, hey, look, we're not looking at that as anything different than what Steph is doing. We're not saying, oh yeah, but from the women's line. Like even when they introduced her, They said she has the record in any 3-point contest. They didn't say, in a women's 3-point contest in the WNBA. They said any 3-point contest. And even I thought it was kind of, I get why she shot from the men's line, because I think she wanted to say, like, look, that way nobody could say, oh, I shot from the women's line, and that's what was going on. But I think in reality, anyone that had a brain and anyone that actually mattered wouldn't have said that. Like, if she would have won, nobody's going to be like, well, she shot from the women's line. And I think that, to me, was that's actual equality, is by going, hey, look, this thing that you're doing is the exact same thing that this guy's doing. He's just doing it from this line because that's where they shoot from, like what Kenny was saying. That's where she doesn't shoot from that line. That'd be like if Steph stepped back to the starry line and was shooting from the starry spot, Like, yeah, would that, could he have done that to say, well, then I'll step back? That's not the point. The point is just, hey, who can hit the most shots in a minute? And you shoot from where, like, because, like, again, what Kenny said is she was still using the woman's ball. So, like, not necessarily that you need the handicap or need the, the quote unquote advantage, but that's what he was trying to say. Like, it isn't an advantage to shoot from the women's line. That's just where you're used to shooting from. So you should shoot there, make as many shots as you possibly can, because nobody's going to look at that as you having an advantage. And I think that was what got lost in the translation. Then he obviously got dragged through the mud because he kind of said it in a weird way and wasn't very eloquent with it. But in the moment I was going, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, why wouldn't you just shoot from where you shot from? Because that's when you set the record, that's where you set it from. It had nothing to do with, like, oh, you're a woman, you can't shoot from the men's line. Everybody knows she can shoot from there. Thoughts?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
If the only problem is if she had won it from shooting from the women's line, but well, of course she won because she gets a smaller ball. Do we know what size ball she used?
She's a women's ball.
Women's ball. It's like 28 or something, right? I don't know what the
28.5 compared to
29.
29.5. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So wait, she used the women's ball.
But shot from the men's line, yeah.
Oh, so yeah, like I think the line was overblown.
Yeah, the line was overblown. Like that's the thing where I go, it doesn't even, like, the line to me didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter that she was shooting from the men's line or the women's line. I'm like, you guys are out there. It's 60 seconds on the clock. Hit as many shots as you can. And I think, like you said, Chris, yeah, there would have been somebody that would have said, oh, well, of course you won. She, shot from the men's line, or shot from the women's line. But that's that's why, to me, like, it felt a little anticlimactic when Steph won. Because I was like, yeah, because she's shooting from the men's line. Like, she put herself at a disadvantage to prove a point that didn't need to be proved. Proven, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, in my opinion,
I'm actually agreeing with you.
That's where I got what Kenny was saying. He was just saying it in a very terrible, like, reactionary way, and he kept saying, like,
well, he was drunk too.
Like, there was all, like, somebody saying, well, let them shoot with the real ball, and that to me is something too, where, like, I'm going, all right, this was a great first step in sort of integrating this stuff or whatever, and, like, maybe you go, all right, yeah, let's shoot with a men's ball or whatever the hell they want to do for the men's line, and if some of the WNBA players want to come shoot in the 3-point contest, like, let's have at it. There's no point in having this separate, and that's just what I felt like was the point he was trying to make in a very bad way, because it didn't. I don't think if she would have won from that line, like, would you have said that? Would you have said, oh, well, yeah, of course she won. She was using the women's ball on the women's line.
Yeah, I feel like Kenny would have said it.
I don't think he would have said it, but, like, to me, if Kenny would have said that, then that would have been the really bad take. Like, that would have been like, dude, that's actually sexist, by going, no. Well, yeah, of course you won. She was shooting from a shorter distance and a smaller ball. I'm like, no, dude, she still made 26 shots. She still made enough to be in the finals of the actual competition.
The take was bad because
the take was bad.
From my standpoint, like, he has one job in this, and his job is a commentator for basketball, and, like, he has the disposal of everything available to him. Like, in the time you were talking, I looked up her shooting stats from last season. From 20 to 24 feet, 3-point, she shot 49.7% from the field. Right, so
49%,
49.7.
That is so stupid.
The bulk of her attempts are coming in there. And I was listening to something earlier, and they were talking about, like, if you watch her, most of her 3-point attempts are not on the line.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, she didn't lose because she shot from the men's line, and you're kind of saying that, right? Like she didn't lose because of that.
No,
like,
she didn't lose because of that. No.
And I think the way that he went about saying it was he was insinuating that she only lost because she decided to shoot from the men's line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case, and I don't think she would tell you that's the case. And Frank, I mean, it wasn't because she shot a number that was comparable to everybody, and it took Steph to his last rack in the
to his last rack to get it. Yeah.
happen. So, I think your high thought that he was meaning more than he was saying is probably spot on, but I don't know. I still fault people when you're like, you have like
it was just
like
not the place to do it,
right? Like,
yeah,
you gotta know better. Like,
yeah,
this is a great moment to be like, hey, like when she's like, hey, if you can shoot, you can shoot. Like, yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, you just showed us that, like, you're really freaking good, and your all-star attempt or your 3-point record from last season wasn't like a fluke, right? You came out here, no warm up, one round, and you made it look easy, and that's pretty exciting. So,
and I think that was the biggest thing for me was like was a bummer of an ending on top of that because of what he ended up saying and what he did, because it kind of did ruin the moment where then it became all about his reaction to it and not that like she almost won the damn thing,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was a bummer.
Yeah. And like you said, that was the best night. That was the legit best night of the or moment of the night. Even like when I was watching, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like she just hit the first 7 in a row. Like this is insane.
It was ridiculous. It looked effortless.
Yeah, she just lightened them up, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I hope they do it again. I hope they bring more.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see a team thing. They were talking like maybe doing like a Steph and Clay against like her and Caitlin Clark if she goes to WNBA. Like that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
although
like
Clay's
they were saying
the guy, but it'd be fun
Wait,
to watch.
where else would Caitlin Clark go? She coming to the NBA?
She can stay. I think one more year. I think she's got potentially one more year.
She's only a junior?
No, I think she's got a COVID year.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because she already broke the points record, I think.
Yeah. That's because it was, I guess somebody was going after her for breaking the points record, and apparently she had an extra year.
Yeah, it was like Cheryl Swoops or something.
Cheryl Swoops or something was saying that.
She was like 25 and stayed there for 5 years, and she was like, no, she's like 22 and she's in her 4th year.
Yeah, it's like, nope. And then that's the stuff that's funny to me. But and like again, going back to the last point, we can kind of wrap this up and go into something more fun. But that was my thing. Like, it's just I felt bad that she felt like that she had to shoot from the line, from the men's line. That's what I think is, and not that it's not that she couldn't shoot from the men's line. That's like you said, the majority of her shots come from that far out. She's a great shooter. Like, you know, you don't need to. You didn't need to bow down to the men that were going to say, "Oh, she shot from the women's line."
It's sad that if she won the right, it was going to be the excuse was going to be, well, she shot from the women's line. It's way easier.
Yeah, and I think there would have been a loud pushback from people saying, "No, she legit. That's where she shoots from, and she won. Like that's what the competition is."
Yeah, but unfortunately, in our stupid world, the stupid people are louder than the smart people.
Yeah. Unless you're high, and then all you hear is good things.
Whew.
Oh yeah,
good deep things.
All right, so All-Star game bad.
All right.
3-point contest good. The more young people that are in the All-Star game is good.
Yeah,
get the old heads out. Keep Anthony Edwards out, and then everything else is good.
Hey, hang on a second. We don't need that.
He might not make it.
You might not make it.
All right, guys. You might not make it next year. It's fine. All right, I got some. We're going to try a new segment here. Most likely twos. So I'm going to give the boys a couple scenarios. And you guys are going to tell me what's most likely to happen. All right. And this is kind of going back. We didn't end up doing a trade deadline recap show, but this is kind of based off of what happened at the trade deadline and slightly prior to it. But who is most likely to win a first-round series sooner? The Chicago Bulls or the Toronto Raptors? So the Bulls did nothing at the break, decided just to run this same team back, and apparently that's just where we're going. And Toronto decided to maybe start looking towards rebuilding with trading Siakam prior to the deadline and kind of doing some moves like that around the periphery. So my thought was, which of those plans, the two sort of mediocre teams that have been in that play-in range the last couple of years. Joey, man, what do you think about this? Who do you think would win a first-round series sooner?
I'm like trying to run through the faith that I have in players on both teams, and I'm trying not to be a homer, but I feel like it could be the Bulls.
Okay.
I feel like
this is an entire series in the first round.
yeah, no.
I'm just kidding.
Easy.
7 games.
7 games.
I feel like we're gonna see what the Knicks ended up truly believing RJ Barrett was. And I think it was really high hopes and like moments of like, wow, this guy could be really good. And then just the prolonged stretches of just like mediocre. Like, I feel like he might be like a Tobias Harris type comparison where it's like,
yeah,
you take a chance because you see potential, and then, you know, maybe not contract wise, but like you take the shot at the potential, but it's not going to necessarily pan out. And I don't know. I just don't feel like there's enough like pure talent, and like I don't have enough trust in Scotty Barnes yet either. Like I feel like he tries to like when it's his game to take over, it almost becomes like too much, and he tries to do too much, and it becomes like a one-man show. And I'm not sure he's that one-man show yet.
Yeah.
But like I feel like there's a lot of bad things on the Bulls too, but like there are some like potential pieces that are like blossoming this season, right? Like as much as I hate to say it, right? Hey, Kobe White.
No, he's just all right. You're sucked in. You're sucked in right now. This is so biased right now. We gotta go. Chris, what are your thoughts? I had to cut you off here, man. Who Kobe White?
I don't think we're gonna have the answer to this question for like 10
a couple
years.
10 years. I think so. I think 4 or 5 years.
You gotta pick.
I like the idea. Sorry, Joey, did you say you said Toronto?
No, I think the Bulls. I think the Bulls
would
be more likely to win a series first.
Because I think to Joey's point with RJ Barrett kind of being the next Tobias Harris, RJ Barrett, Carmelo went at RJ a little bit, and RJ, he was talking about how he's not like a killer. I think it was kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
And RJ kind of just said, well, I did get 5 points that other night, but the game after he made those comments, I got 25, so he was half right. And that's kind of a weird thing.
A weird flex.
Just a weird way to go about it, right? You're, like, if you're in the NBA, you got to be a killer, I feel like, right? It's like succession kind of stuff here.
I guess to be a winner.
You got to, and he's not like that. So to Joey's point, I don't think the Raptors are going to win a playoff series with this current iteration with Quickly,
I don't think
Barrett,
that's what's happening. Barnes.
The Bulls, are they going to win with Kobe White a playoff series with Levine, DeMar? Both these teams are so far off that we're going to have to scrap both of these units and reset and find out in 10 to 12 years, who actually revamped better, who actually drafted better.
Because I think that was kind of my point of the debate is like what actually is more effective in the NBA. Like getting bad and building around a few, pieces. And I really think Scotty Barnes is really their only piece. Yeah, I know they got RJ and they got Quickly. They got some other guys. Maybe Quickly's a piece. But really it's going to be, when they are ready to win a series, it'll be whoever they draft with these picks that they got for Siakam and stuff like that. And then maybe Scotty. Whereas, all right, are the Bulls a little bit farther away because they're going to have it? They might have some cracks at it in the next 3 years. And that was when I was thought about this. I figured that Joey might say the Bulls. I was going to say, yeah, because, hey, look at it. Maybe next year, maybe nobody's really all that good. Levine's healthy, and now they get a decent matchup in the first round, a Knicks, a Cavs, maybe an older Heat, and they get one, and they get a series win. That's possible. But if you're telling me, all right, this team's broken up in a year and a half or two, then I feel like it starts to lean the Raptors' way a little bit. Like the Raptors will rebuild fairly quickly, and then in the next 5 years be talking about a playoff victory. But it's interesting. It's interesting.
Before you cut me off, that's where I was
Yeah.
going with my Kobe White thing was. No,
Had to get it in. Had to get it in.
No,
No, I'm
you're
kidding, I'm
spot on.
kidding.
It's I think for the next like year or two, there's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough talent. Like the Bulls are going to be in the play-in, right? Which gives them a chance. Like the Raptors are not making it this year, right? They're not
Yeah, the
gonna
Raptors aren't going to be in the
like-
playoffs at all.
There's a chance, and probably not next year too. But like, there's a chance the Bulls stumble into one, right?
Yeah.
It's not impossible that they somehow luck their way into something completely unexpected and ridiculous. And like they've got just enough talent to continue to be mediocre. And like you're right, if they get the right matchup or the right things kind of shake out, or
Embiid
injuries
gets
fall,
hurt.
like, there's a chance.
Giannis tears his Achilles.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
Brunson tears his Achilles.
Like the video Chris sent.
Oh,
me.
Yeah, that's the video. That was great. Yeah, no, I feel like there's a chance they could just kind of luck into one in the next year or two. But then after that, I think it's the scale starts to tip towards Toronto. But it'll be interesting.
You got to
All
be
right,
in there to win one.
Yep, got to be in there. All right, another most likely to. Kind of similar, related again to the trade deadline and some stories we didn't get a chance to cover. Chris, I'll start with you on this one. But who's most likely to be on a new team next year? LeBron James or Zach LaVine? Who gets traded in the summer? Is LeBron going to the Warriors?
Low Post went on like a 20-minute thing with Ramona Shelburne talking about how LeBron might have been talked about being traded to Golden State.
Like this was real.
Apparently never even made it to LeBron. But it was the most non-news that I've ever freaking heard, and I felt like I was hearing like a Taylor Swift gossip. I hated it. And no, it's LaVine. LeBron's not going to move unless he wants to move. He doesn't feel that desperate to move. I think Loeb made a good point on there where if he did not win that championship in 2020, 2021, maybe he would be looking to get traded, but he won. He's got the 4.
He's got one.
Sure, he maybe wants to chase Kobe and then MJ, but no, it's LaVine.
It's LaVine. Joey, it's LaVine.
Yeah, I think it's LaVine. I think what did you say, traded or on a new team?
On a new team in general. So is LeBron, does LeBron not take his player option and then maybe in free agency go somewhere?
No, it's LaVine.
Warriors.
I think that marriage is done.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
especially after his antics at the deadline.
I think it's done on both sides. Like,
what his antics, as in?
Well, I mean, he
surgery.
Needed surgery. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive, but I mean,
I think it was on purpose. I think that's what happened. That's my theory.
Yeah, speak the truth on the Box Out Boys sometimes.
I heard Detroit was like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take care of this foot now.
It's like, what? Maybe
probably gonna land there anyways.
Yep.
I mean, it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but
that same exact.
That was just interesting. It was just interesting time.
I think it's Zach. I think Zach is gone long before LeBron.
Yeah, I think LeBron would have to make the decision himself, but who knows? We'll see what happens in the playoffs for the Lakers if they get there.
We'll get to it when we do our draft. I'm curious how you guys think about the Lakers.
Yeah, I had them in. When we get there. Speaking of the draft, I think that's it. We can get into our draft here. Did we have a draft order?
Who won the last thing that we did?
I don't know.
That is a good question. I will tell you in 2 seconds who won.
So Chris, well, he's tracking it down.
Won. Titus won our roundtable last year. Chris was second, and I was last.
So let's just do that order. Yeah.
Are we doing snake draft?
Yeah.
Or just back and forth?
Yeah. Just go back. Three of us. We just go back and forth.
Let's not complicate this, because before it's like,
then it's all right. So we'll go back and forth. All right, it's gonna go me, Chris, Joey. Ooh, now I get the first pick, so I can decide which way I want to go with this.
I'm very interested to see where you go with this. I think I know what team you're gonna pick. I have one.
Let's go ahead and set this up for the listeners here. So what we're gonna do, we're going to draft 10 teams because there's 30 teams in the league, and there's going to be 2 winners and 1 loser. One winner is the team that drafts, or is the person that drafts the teams with the most wins from the All-Star break to the end of the season. And the other winner will be the team that drafts the teams with the most losses. The loser in this is the team that drafts the most mediocre set of teams, most mid teams. So I'm curious, do I start off the gate like stacking losses here? Do I try to get wins?
Go for it. You gotta go. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
No,
All
For
right.
the wins. There's nothing in losing. You're just not humiliated.
This is great. Then I have the first overall pick in this draft. I'm going to go ahead and take the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh
Timber
God,
Pups.
you jerk!
Oh, speaking of low post,
Wow.
I heard the low
hang
post
on.
today.
Do you want to
do you
you
trade?
listen to low post today? No, I'm
Today.
curious. Do you want to elaborate on why the Minnesota Timberwolves as your second half #1 most wins team?
So I listened to the low post today.
Hang on. The records are 0-0. Did we mention that? Okay,
yep,
yeah.
they're 0-0. So what he mentioned on the podcast was that one, they're most likely going to finish the #1 seed in the West, and that they have 7 home games to make up.
They have a 7-game homestand coming up. Yeah.
So he's like, their likelihood of winning a lot of games is pretty high, and that's why he believed they would finish #1 overall. So I heard that, and I was like, you know what? If I get a chance to take him, I think I'm going to take him.
Yeah, know what? You're a smart man.
I did, and I'm not going against the heart. I'm trying to win. So Timber Pups, help me out.
All right. I am gonna go. I'm trying to think about like what you guys would think and what I kind of want to pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat.
Wow. Okay.
That's a wow. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, that's low on my board. All right.
All right.
Good. Miami Heat. Anyway, what was the justification there? Just
they're currently 30-25, and when I look at their record, I think they'll be better than that at the end of the season. I think they'll actually turn it up to.
The East is kind of hurt right now, so
the East is hurt. Cavs peaking right now. Yeah, in my opinion, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll pick them. Who knows? Bucks, dude. I keep reading about the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks.
I don't know. That team is gonna. I think that he can finish in the top 4, so that's why I picked.
Okay, so you're gambling on old Jimmy buckets. All right, Joey, who you got?
I am going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers as my first pick.
Okay.
Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. Why do I not even have them on my board?
I was worried that my comment on the Cavs was gonna leave them on the board a little bit longer.
I think they're cooking. I think it's going to be a bloodbath in that like middle kind of packish there, and there's going to be some care for quite some time from those teams.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm writing down the teams here so I can keep track with some. We're going to get to a point where we're going to go, who picked who? I got it, guys. We're
good job.
I can share my screen actually. I got
a dot going. All right. Well, then it's my pick. Then this is the easiest pick for me. I'm going to go ahead and go with Boston. Number 2 on my board.
Terrible pick.
It's a great pick.
It's an awful pick. They're going to have the 1 seed locked up in like 2 weeks, and they're gonna lay off.
I was gonna pick them for a while, but
yeah, I thought about that, but I'm also like, you know what? They're gonna have a lot of wins.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, they already got the wins though. They don't need them anymore.
They don't need any more. They don't need any more wins, Titus.
It's possible. You always need wins.
Okay.
You always need
if you guys need it, I put up how many games each team has played, and then I started looking into how many games they have left.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I did a games played divided by number of wins to give me a weird percentage. I don't know what this means. I just kind of did it. It means nothing.
Divided by number of wins.
That should just be their record.
No, well, 62%.
Is that
80%?
Is that different
I don't know,
than
because 29. It means nothing.
That's not different than their record.
But it's just kind of like, all right, 100%. It's like,
yeah, that's
I don't know.
All right, Chris, take your second.
I think they have that on NBA.com. You can just look that
up. It's really
homie.
bad math. This is like a John Hollinger.
He's trying to big brain this. He's trying to really
big brain this guy.
He's gonna be like, no, the 80% means, the 300% means
is huge.
There's a lot of room to come up.
If you carry the 2 and divide the 7.
Wow, big brain Chris is doing math. Sorry, I just took a team that's gonna have the number 1 seed wrapped up in 2 weeks.
All right,
it's all right.
I am
like how you chose pink for yourself.
Nuggets.
Yeah. Nuggets. All right, nice, good pick.
Nuggets.
All right.
With my second pick, I'm going to take the Clippers.
Nice, good pick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow, this is incredible.
I'm still going for wins here.
He's going for wins. This is incredible. I got my top 3 teams. I'm gonna take OKC.
Let's see.
All right. I am going with the Lakers.
Lakers. Wow. All right.
Stop wowing my picks. All
Wow.
right.
I mean, they're very
Wow.
low on my board. I'm just saying they're very low. These teams are low on my board, but
Look at this. Look at this 86%. That's so like
I don't know where that
know,
number
man.
came from. So I don't even know what that means. You said it means
26
nothing.
divided by 30 gives you 86%.
I don't know, but it
Do with
looks
that
good.
what you will.
Do with that what you will.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
All
All right. My third pick. I'm going to take the Warriors.
Warriors. All right. Nice.
Warriors.
They got it. They got to hit stride. It's now or never.
All right. I'm gonna take Indianapolis.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
toss up there. Good choice. Good choice
I'll take
between them and the Warriors.
I'm gonna go Knicks.
the Knicks. Get buckets. That's a good one.
Only thing is, when does Randall come back?
That's the question.
Um,
Man, we're all going for wins. This is good. I like.
No, we gotta
this.
go wins. Yeah.
well, we have to, right? The top half should be. So I'm gonna go. I'm ready to swerve. I'm gonna swerve already a little bit.
Oh.
I'm gonna take the
okay.
Pelicans.
The Pellies.
Wait, Pellies. That's a win. You
That's a
wanna go
win, yeah.
You want to go win
That's a
there?
little bit of a swerve. I think there's some options out there still that
Yeah.
probably are
Okay.
maybe potentially stronger on
yeah.
paper. But I'm gonna take the Pelicans.
Pelicans. All right, so that's me.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Phoenix. I feel like they got to make a
Yeah.
run here.
That's the one that I was
Good-
kind of
good
saying.
spot.
Yeah.
Was the
I'm going
short.
Good
Mavs.
spot for 'em.
Mavs. That's the
Mavs,
right choice.
done.
Oh boy,
It was an easy one for me right there.
we're running out of them here quick, boys.
Yeah, it's getting
I
tight
think
now.
I'll
We're
go
getting
for
tight.
wins. I think the loss stipulation is kind of getting thrown out the window here, which
Yeah,
It's
nobody's
not
thinking
yet,
about this.
good
though,
to know.
because
No one's
it's
thinking
about-
about else.
it's
We're not
about to happen,
losers
I
here.
think. I think it's about to happen after this pick.
Yeah, you might have to start making a run.
Do I do the Bucks or the Kings?
Ooh,
Bucks or the Kings? I'm gonna take the flyer on the Bucks. I think I have to. I
damn it!
think I have to.
Almost said like that beam only so you could take it, but then I knew
That's a
figured
gamble,
it's
though.
for- Yeah, that's a good gamble though.
Tight.
Give me the Kings then. Give me the Kings.
All right. I think that's all like the reasonably good teams that are left.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a couple teams out there still.
Oh boy.
I mean, Philly, Orlando, the Bulls, Atlanta.
I
Those
do
are
enjoy
solid
that most of the Western Conference has already been selected. Bloodbath.
Oh man, I'm gonna go the Hawks.
teams. Hawks, good pick. Good pick.
Look at that 112%. Like I don't know, man.
Well, if you divide another number by that, you might be 200%.
The big brain stat brought to you by Chris, the stats man. The big brain stat of the week. We should have that. The big brain
Big
stat of the
brain
week.
stat of the week. The big man stat from the big brain.
Rebounds by assists, and that should tell you everything. All right, go ahead, Joey.
I'm going to take. You guys ready for it?
Yes, I'm ready for
Give me
it.
the homework pick. Give me the Bulls.
The Bulls.
Yeah, I wanted to take the Bulls, but I
Getting
feel
those
like
losses
I
covered.
didn't
Good
think
job.
they
I feel like I waited till the right time, right? The sixth pick, that feels like right. I mean, that
That's
feels
right.
that feels
Yeah,
fair.
that's right. Wait for that Kobe White explosion.
Wow. You said it, not me.
all over your face. All right.
Kobe White's gonna explode all over your face. Give me.
I'll take it.
What do I do here? You know what? I'm going to take everybody's money. Give me Detroit.
All right, that's a solid pick, but it's a little early in my
A little
opinion on
early,
that
but you know
one.
what? I reached. So, like, who am I going to take? Am I going to
It's a
take
little
Orlando?
reach there.
Yeah, I think you still should have been going for wins here.
Dude, how about this home away record by Houston? 19-9 at home and 5-21 away. It's a weird team. I'm taking Houston.
Screw Stone.
All right, the Rockets are gone. Fuck.
So some good teams out there. But what do you do, Joe?
I'll take the Magic, I guess.
Wow. all right.
Yeah, that's the
I'll
logical
take
next
Orlando.
choice. This is where it gets a little spicy.
This
That
is where it
Detroit pick
gets.
was weird, man. That was early.
We got
was
8 teams
early.
left. We got Nets, Raptors,
was
Hornets,
early.
Wizards, Jazz, Grizzlies, Blazers, Spurs.
You
Did somebody
built a
take
team to
Philly?
win. No, we took Philly yet.
Oh, sorry, and the Sixers.
Because so here's my debate. Like, do I go Philly or Utah here and try to get a couple other wins, or do I go like San Antonio or Memphis and really try to pad up those losses? Because like you have to see from my perspective, I got Minnesota, Boston, OKC, Indy, and Philly.
Wait, it's not wins plus losses. It's most wins.
Most wins, yeah.
Or most losses. So why are you mixing in teams that are going to lose yet?
Yeah, you don't want to make. You'll get caught right in the middle, Titus.
You caught right in the middle. This is or is this a recipe for the middle? This is what you're saying. All right, you know what? Give me Philly.
Yeah, that's good.
I have to take a gamble.
I think we kind of slept on. I forgot about Philly.
No, it's the gamble, right? It's the
because Embiid, no Embiid.
It's the right time to take it because they've been bad without him. Chris.
Oh yeah, me.
I feel better now.
Who cares to win? The Raptors.
I think that's right.
Give me some Raptor news.
Raptors. Give me Utah. I'll take Utah. I think they're going to stumble into. I think they'll stumble into some wins here.
Man, it's tough. So we got who? San Antonio, Washington, Portland, Memphis, Charlotte, and Brooklyn left, right?
Yep.
Give me Brooklyn.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But
new coach bump though, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they'll still trying to win.
That might be a sneaky good pick.
They might be trying to win.
Positivity.
I guess I gotta go. Go Spurs.
Ooh, there it starts. The run starts.
Good. I wanted Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I kind of wanted Hornets, but the Miles Bridges thing still gives me like.
They won like 3 in a row, man. They're on a heater.
They have won 3 in a row. Is that what you got from this? I don't know, 215% though. It's really high.
They're 3-7 in their last 10. I mean, put that in your stats and see what that divides out
to. Give me Portland.
Put that in your stats and smoke it. Portland,
Joey's team.
Yeah.
All right, so I got between the Grizz and the Hornets, or the Wizards.
Yeah.
Grizzlies or give me the Grizzlies. They at least are competitive.
I got
leaves Joey with the Wizards.
And they're irrelevant. Washington.
Kyle Kuzma.
I feel like I'm most in the middle. Ty's are more top heavy. Joey, you got a little. No, you're just kind of all over the place too.
I feel like Titus is gonna get screwed with taking Detroit number 7. I feel like that was a miss.
That was a reach. That felt like a reach.
It was too early.
It's too early.
You still had Houston, Orlando, 76ers, Raptors.
We'll see. I don't know why in the middle of the thing I felt like I could somehow math my way into winning both of them. I was like, well, what if I win the wins and the losses? And I don't know why I thought that.
That was an interesting thought. I thought you were thinking that way.
I just in the middle was like, well, what if I just start drafting Detroit, San Antonio? I'm like, I got all these wins already. I can just get all the losses now. And then I think about these losses. Yeah. I was like, oh no, yeah, but then those teams aren't winning any games, so then I don't have any more wins. I get it. I got it.
But that's why I like this idea. What we're doing here, we'll see how this goes, and we can always, revamp it for
see how it goes
next year.
Yeah, Chris's does feel kind of mid.
We'll see.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about how everybody else's feels right now.
Let's see what happens after week 1 of this. We'll do our weekly update.
Oh, this is good, guys.
We got to we'll take a screenshot of the standings now, and then we'll just keep adding them up. So,
oh man, I think I should have been able to take one of Chris's picks for him, since there was a bet made that hasn't been paid off yet between the Bulls and the Timberwolves.
You could have done it. I left it open. You didn't want to take it.
Missed the golden opportunity here.
Yeah,
take his pick.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, loser. Well, on that note, that is it for us tonight. Follow us on social media at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, until next time, Box Out!
Boop, 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 boop.